tell y'all? You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Bradham and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater, and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all pen zippy. I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing. Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SB, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Bradham in the morning. Marques, Bradham, Justin, Emery.
Yo, Marcus. I have to say, I gave myself a mini heart attack right as the music was switching from like the calming music to the intro. I was changing a couple settings over here. I thought I screwed the whole operation up. Like when the song switched, I thought I hit the wrong button. So I had a mini heart attack there during the intro.
You didn't, and here we are.
Here we are. How you feeling? How you feeling?
I'm getting there. After about a week and a half off. The reason why we had to is because we've had a COVID outbreak on the mountain. It is rampantly running through the house as we speak. I had it. I got it first, not this past Sunday, but Sunday before. And then now it's, the kids had it. Amber, I don't know. She's like the COVID dodger. She hasn't had it yet. So, but yeah, it's. Man, it made me think about the OG COVID and how bad it must have been for people. Like, because this was no picnic either. I was down and out for all of last week. Like, the thing that was crazy for me is the energy level, how low it was. Like, the simplest task, just like getting off the couch and walking to the bathroom, was like doing a 3-hour spin class. But that's how it felt. Now, for the most part, symptoms are gone. I had a little relapse setback over the weekend, but, better now. And, I just, like I said, I go back to the original.
You sound significantly better. Like when I talked to you on the phone the very first time, you know how like sometimes, like if somebody has you on speakerphone or whatever,
yeah,
and you have to look to make sure you're talking to the right. Like, oh, did I call the right number?
Right.
The very first time I talked to you on the phone when you had it, I had to look to make sure that it did in fact say Marques Bradham on my phone.
Yeah,
but you sound a whole lot better now. So
it was ugly. Happy to be back, up and about.
Out of health and safety protocols.
Out of health and safety protocols.
So now, would it be safe to say that coming to the mountain is now the absolute best place to go to avoid the virus now? I mean, you guys all got it now. You got to be immune to it.
Yeah.
I guess now
that's the hopes.
Now's the time to come and throw the party, right?
Now's the time.
All right. Just wanted to get that out of the way.
So, speaking of
well, welcome back on behalf of everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So the energy level still is, I'm still trying to ramp up, I guess you could say. So like, I get like tired easily, like a toddler. So like yesterday, for instance, like I'm still like kind of in rest mode, trying to kind of get things back together again. So yesterday, I found this really actually cool show on Netflix you might want to check out, and it's basically the history of toys in the country. It's all not toy. I'm not. That's not right. I'm not describing it right. But the history of toys in the country, but like the biggest toys of like the 80s and 90s. Like they do episodes in each one. They tell the story in a very unique way.
What's the show called?
I'll get to you after the show. It's something about toys, but like it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They did Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, My Little Ponies, and now they're doing wrestling action figures. Like the biggest toys of like the 80s and 90s.
It's not explained, right?
What do you mean?
Like that's not the name of the show.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. But like it's really good. But like even stuff that's like even stuff like that, like now, like it's kind of like hard to like pay attention for a long period of time. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a quick little cat nap. Mm-hmm. So I turned it off and I just have background noise in the background. And it just so happened to be Mike Missanelli show with my background noise.
So this is when you called me yesterday, isn't it?
Yes. So I have my eyes closed. I'm laying back. And it's around 4:15ish, somewhere in there, 4:15, 4:30. Like a time when traditionally nothing really is happening on a radio show. Like they're still obviously doing content, but nothing really breaking unless it's significantly breaking news.
No, you're in the meat of it, just kind of
Yeah.
getting through towards you had your strong opening segments.
Right.
You're in the meat of it, getting ready to coast into the final hours.
Yeah. So I have the eyes closed. I'm laying back on the couch, and I just hear Mike Missanelli start to announce that yesterday was going to be his last show. And I just sit like the Undertaker, like, what? Is this a dream? And then, like, you know, he's getting emotional, which you don't really see that from Mike, like to the point where the segment's over, and TV's a little bit of delay with radio, where they have him on the television for a good 15 to 20 seconds before they fade him out on TV, even though he's already ended his segment on the radio. So he has the glasses off, and he legit is getting after it with tears to an uncomfortable amount, like where it was like, whoa. So the rest of the show then became him saying goodbye. But we were talking, like, number one, I gotta say this. Like, I know the past couple years there's been a lot of criticism of Mike Missanelli. I think rightfully so. I think he's had a lot of missteps, some social justice stuff that he didn't land on the right side of. Also, I feel that, like, you know, as we discussed before, he's lost his fastball a little bit. I don't think he's the same guy he was 10 to 15 years ago, but he is getting a little older. However, that being said, what happened yesterday, number one, he did not deserve. He did not deserve to go out like that, number one. Number two, there is no way that I can say that I'm sitting here without guys like Mike Missanelli. Like, I'm a kid. I was a kid, didn't have a lot of money growing up, and so I didn't have cable. So back then, you know, to watch Sixers, Flyers, home games, whatever like that, you had to have Prism and stuff. I didn't have that. So I found this little station called 610 WIP, and I listened to the games, and then I found out, wait, people talk sports? This is amazing. I started listening to guys like Mike Howard Eskin, Mike Missanelli, Steve Frederick Show, Anthony Organo, Early Anthony, Glenn McDowell, what's the other one? Jody Mack. Guys like that, like, kind of made me say, like, yo, this is a pretty cool thing. And then I'm all of a sudden 12 years old at my kitchen table doing my own radio show with my tape recorder and, like, on my tape, like, and I can't sit here and say that I wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for guys like Mike Missanelli. Gary Cobb's another one that I like to listen to. Gary Cobb, Craig Carton. G Cobb, Craig Carton. So like, I will always have a fondness in my heart for Mikey Miss because of that. And, like, when he was good, he was really, really good. And, like, you go back to 2008 when the Fanatic launches, he comes in fairly early on. He wasn't the first one, but fairly early on. I said to you yesterday, like, I look at for what he did at the Fanatic is what John Madden did for Fox Sports. Like, he gave them credibility. He gave them, you know, a voice that people recognized. He is. I mean, if you're not going to say he's the GOAT of this area of sports talk, he's on the Mount Rushmore's area of sports talk. And yesterday was really uncomfortable because, like, it's obvious whatever happened. And listen, I don't have no idea. I don't know how it went down, when it went down, but it was obviously something that happened extremely recently. Maybe even yesterday when he made an announcement, he found out at some point, because a guy like that, I don't see how you just say, yeah, dude, you get like an hour to wrap it up. So, you know, I had to say that, but, like, it's wild to think that Mike Missanelli will not be on the radio anymore. Like, we're not going to hear Mike Missanelli anymore in the radio. Like, it's one of those things you kind of just take it for granted now. Like, it's just there. It's going to be there. But it's wild that he's not there anymore.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I have been extremely critical of him. Like, there was a point in time where 2 to 6 on 97.5 was appointment radio daily, every day.
Yeah.
Now, this was also let's say 2012 to 2014 ish, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was appointment radio
Mm-hmm.
every day. And I posed a couple questions to you, both hypothetical and rhetorical. But I mean, 97.5 without him is bankrupt 10 years ago.
Right.
Like, he is the only. I was talking to a couple people yesterday about this. WIP and 97.5 is like the major leagues and the minor leagues. Like, they're not even like, yeah, they're in the same market. They do the same thing. But in reality, they are so far apart.
Right.
And it's because Beasley doesn't care about 97.5. One of the worst kept secrets is that if it was up to corporate, they would flip 97.5 to a country station. That is like the worst kept secret in Philadelphia media. What is stopping that now? Because if the rumors are true, let's say the rumors are true that it is Hunter Brody and Tyrone Johnson. Now, take our personal feelings about how we feel about the producer out of this, because we both have had personal interactions with him that were not positive. So let's take our personal feelings aside. Tyrone, Brody, and the rumors is also going to be Ricky Bottalico in the third seat. That is going to get steamrolled by John Marks and Ike Reese.
Yeah.
It is going to be a bloodbath. If John and Ike were already trouncing Mike, what are they going to do to Tyrone and Hunter Brody and I think her name's Jen and Ricky Bottalico? Assuming that Jen,
she's not going to be.
Well, the thing is, she's
probably going to have the same similar role she had now, right?
I mean,
are they going to have her talk more?
She's been. I don't know. She's been with Beasley for forever.
Right.
Like at multiples. So I can't imagine they're going to can her. But then again, I also couldn't imagine they were going to do what they did to Mike. So, like, what do I know?
Right.
But, and you can answer this if you want. And if you don't want to, that's fine. You have friends over there, just like I have friends over there.
Mm-hmm.
And this has nothing to do with what they do. They do great work.
Yeah.
They don't care about the station. And if they don't care, why should I care? So my question is unless it's a Sixers game, and we'll say Flyers for Flyers fans out there, but we all know I'm not listening to the Flyers game.
Right.
Why would you turn the station on?
And that's in that audience, listen, shout out to George McGinnis and what he does. Like, he's amazing. We all know that.
Who?
George McGinnis. What? Tom McGinnis. I went 75 Sixers. My old teammate. Anyway, Tom McGinnis. Shout out to Tom McGinnis and what he does.
Yeah.
Like, he's amazing at his job, but it's a niche in the sense that, like, listen, I only listen to Tom McGinnis when I'm in the car. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I don't turn the like. I don't think a lot of people do that anymore, where they turn the TV down and listen to radio. People don't do that.
Only if it's Mike and Merrill.
Yeah, people. So it's more of a niche. So yeah, there's not really a lot that, like, Mike Missanelli was a cornerstone. He was a cornerstone, and he had a built-in audience that would never not be loyal to him.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of those people are now floating. And listen, one of the issues, because you have guys that's like Mike Missanelli right now, 67, 68 years old. So you have guys and girls and listening to him for 30 plus years. He's become that type of jock where
he's
been around for so long.
It was to the point that when you broke the news to me.
Yeah.
So I don't listen to the show. I haven't listened to the show in years. I've made that point many times. I don't listen to the show.
Right.
But that doesn't take away that this guy is goated. Now, like you said, is he the GOAT? I mean, in a business like this, I think it's difficult to have just one GOAT. I think you can have multiple GOATs in this kind of industry.
Yeah.
And in this market, he has been goated. He has he has a national profile.
Yeah.
Like he can go if he wanted to. He could go to pick your network, Sirius XM, ESPN Radio, CBS Radio. Pick your outlet.
Yeah.
Go in the building. Everybody knows who he is.
Yep.
So, and as you said, if he's not the GOAT, he's on the Mount Rushmore.
Mm-hmm.
When you broke the news to me, I had to call my dad and tell him.
Yeah.
Because like it spans like that. Like this.
Right.
I can only think of 2 guys in the radio business that you'd put in this city ahead of him. And you probably know both those names I'm thinking of.
Eskin.
Yeah, and one of them is leaving at the end of this calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Eskin will die behind the microphone.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's like let's just be honest about that. That's what's going to happen. He will never retire as long as he can physically prop himself up behind a microphone or at a press conference. And I'll be honest, right now, Eskin on the radio, I think he's like Mike. He's losing his fastball a little bit. But I mean, the dude's almost 70 if he's not 70 already. Yeah. However, I would say that now he is as good as he's ever been at press conferences, though.
Yeah.
Howard Eskin. Like he's still, I think he lost his fastball a little bit doing the show. That's why he only does weekends now. Mm. But put him in front of like at a press conference in front of the coach. If I'm a younger beat reporter, think of Elliott Shore Parks. Mm-hmm. Think of what's his name? Austin Crow, I think his name is.
Austin Crow.
Yeah, think of him. Even a Justin Grosso. Mm-hmm. I want him leading the press conference with the first question.
Yeah, set the tone. Yeah, I mean, listen. Be fair. A big reason why he's only doing weekends is because of Mike Missanelli. Mike Missanelli drove him
out of his time slot.
Of his time slot, which was a major deal back then. But I remember 2012. That was like 2012.
Oh, 2012 was. Oh, I thought it was earlier.
I remember Eskin got a huge send off. Like he had they gave him I think they gave him 3 weeks, and then he had that last final show, which was everybody calling off the bells and whistles. Like they gave him a really awesome send off. But as you should with a legend, and
I mean, go back 3 days or what's today? Today's Wednesday, so it happened on Tuesday. Go back 3 days.
Yeah,
Saturday, the Ray Dininger retirement party on WIP.
Right.
Like he's the only guy over there that could go to WIP and within reason pick his time slot and dominate it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I said, it's really, I mean, this is a story that's developing. I'm sure way more details will come out in the next
Beasley has this. This is their MO. This is how Beasley treats their people, and this is why.
Yeah.
This is why they can't retain talent. This is why people leave them, and this is why they will forever be second fiddle to WIP. They will never. Is there a happier person today than Rod Lakin? He's the program director at WIP.
Probably not.
His job easier. He woke up today carefree. Today's the happiest day of his life.
Yeah. Yeah, because now, listen, I now they're going to do the fill. Who knows how long they're going to do a fill in for to get this show together. I don't think you're going to see a launch of a show until Eagles training camp because it just doesn't make sense to bring anything in now. So I would say probably mid-July is probably when they'll announce whatever new brand they're doing to give them an easy road to have things to talk about and all that stuff. But yeah, it's
John Kincaid is the only name over there now, right?
Right.
And I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful to him because he's been in the game for 20-something years, but not in this market.
Yeah, he's. Listen, I don't know the numbers, but I've heard the show and me, it's.
Listen, I mean, I really like the bro. Great. The bro is my guy. Jamie Lynch is my guy.
Yeah.
So everything. Yeah. So my next two statements, I don't want it. It has nothing to do with him.
Or I like Pat Egan too.
I do, but I just don't know him personally. So
I don't know personally. I love Pat Egan
I
too.
like Pat Egan, but like the bro is the guy. Like he's
Yeah.
the one that gave us those tickets to
Yeah.
the Fantasy Fest and all that. Like
Yeah.
he's
Solid man.
That show sucks.
It's not great. And I don't want to put words in Jamie's mouth or anything like that. This is just my opinion. If you listen to that show enough, which I have, like driving around in the mornings, you can hear Jamie's frustration with John on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You can hear it in his voice that this is not, to me, what it sounds like, this is not just radio. I don't like
you.
Like that's what it feels like. It sounds like.
I mean, one of the best programs on the show is the Wake and Bake with Jamie Lynch and Andrew Salchunas on the weekends.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing. You got guys like Jamie, like Andrew Salchunas, that are kind of ready for prime time, but are kind of being pigeonholed and held back by guys they should be held back by.
Subpar management.
Yeah. Right.
Like, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
The program director at 97.5, I forget his name. He came over from XTU, I think it was. One of their other stations. He worked at one of their other stations, came over from there. This dude has been stepping in it every decision he's made so far.
Yeah.
And this is career suicide. This is career and company. Like, this is, I can't even think of a comparable comparison. Can you?
No. Not this way. Like, when Eskin got driven out, it was, everyone kind of knew it was time and was done the right way. Like, they didn't take him out the back and put one between his eyes. You know, they did it the right way, you know, and I think people respected that and knew it was time. And they had some missteps, was trying to figure out who was going to take over for him, that's okay. But because they did it the right way, I think people were allowing them to try to figure out who the successor should be. And they got it right with Marques and Reese. Now they're cemented. This is not respectable the way they did this to him. He did not deserve to be done like this. It was really uncomfortable. Like when Natalie Eganoff called up, and she was talking to him, it was really uncomfortable. Like I was uncomfortable watching and listening to it. Like, man, it sounds like she's trying to talk him off a ledge. Like, and it just didn't feel like, and a lot of, like, you look at a person like her who's in the know and is close to Mike. So if this was something that was going down, you know, over weeks, and she even said, like, I wish I had something prepared to say. I don't. And she was kind of just freestyling, and it came off just like, you know, she tried to do her best, obviously, but it was just like, you know, it was uncomfortable. And then I remember the first call, I think, was Mike from Delran.
Yep.
He says, man, I didn't expect to do this today. And Mike retorts with, neither did I, which lets you know, like, whatever happened, I believe, yesterday during the show, which is wild. But again, this developing story. We had to bring it up.
Interesting. Little tidbit on the story that just came out.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say it's just more back information. Beasley recently inked Preston and Steve, who are also goated, like really goated.
Yeah.
To an extremely lucrative deal, and parting ways with Mike can help funnel money
their way.
And the thing is, with Beasley, I wouldn't be shocked if that was part of their thought process.
Yeah, which, I mean, maybe it is.
Doesn't make it right.
Making is probably doing $850 a year.
Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say between 6 and 8.
Yeah.
Maybe 8. Yes, I'd say at bare minimum 6.
Yeah.
And
that sponsorship money, that national law money, the Paul Moyer and Son money.
Well, the next is what is Mercedes-Benz still going to want to sponsor? Because they weren't necessarily
Money,
975 money. I mean, they were, but they were Mike Miss sponsors.
Right.
Guided door and windows.
Guided door and windows. Yep.
Like these are Mike Missanelli sponsors.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean,
whatever those shakes were, the juices.
Yeah. And then the same thing is going to happen when Gargano goes. Bye-bye Primo's Hoagies.
Right.
Like Primo's
and the Bagster.
Yeah. The Bagsters dumpster in a bag.
Yep. Yeah. Interesting.
A lot of legends leaving this year.
Yeah, big legend talk.
I put out the tweet yesterday that I said, Cataldi, Ray Didinger, Mike Missanelli, Jim Gardner, and somebody commented on it, was like, don't forget Hurricane Schwartz. And
Schwartz out this year too?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And Dave Kuehler, a reporter from 6ABC, I think his name is. No. Apparently he's been on the beat for 33 years.
I don't know who that is.
I may have mispronounced his last name. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, it's only
Dan Kuehler.
Oh, Dan Cellular.
Oh, is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah. Oh, he's out too?
Yeah, he ran out.
Dan Cellular. I don't think it's pronounced Cellular, but I used to call him Dan Cellular as a kid. I think
it's Kuehler.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But either way, they're both out too.
Wow. What a year.
So if anybody needs to sign a morning show out there, we're willing to change our entire format and go to afternoon.
Yeah, we'll change words to the afternoons.
Yeah. We'll hit up Stacks and be like, yo, we need a new intro.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
And then in the next 5 years, we'll hopefully get it. Kidding, but not kidding.
So
we had to address that off the top.
Yeah, since we've left you also, the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals have wrapped.
Yep.
We are now in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
The series that I wanted, because, oh man, I'm gonna tell you, respect the Miami Heat. I respect the Miami Heat, but I am so thankful I don't have to watch them play basketball till next season. They play hard, no question, physical, all that stuff. But man, is it ugly basketball.
Yep.
I don't want to watch that anymore. I could not. If it was Warriors Heat, I don't know I could get through the NBA Finals. I don't want to see that. Like with my NBA Finals, I want to see the best of the best, pristine, top tier, first class basketball, and that's what hopefully we're going to get in this next 2 weeks is first class basketball.
Now, I just want to get because we'll dive into it, discuss these, but I want your prediction right out of the gate without knowing any of the thought process behind it. What do you think is going to be the outcome?
So the Celtics to me are the better team. I am concerned that their in the game decision making will cost them the series. If I've said, listen, you know this. I've said this since February, I believe. Boston.
Damn it, Marcus! I said I don't need the analysis until after the prediction. I want the analysis, but give me the prediction first.
Okay. Well, it's hard because I want to say Boston. I really do, but okay, I'm going to do it. Boston. I'm going Boston.
All right. You have a projected amount or just Boston? Do you have how many games you think, or you're
Boston
saying
in 7?
Really?
Yeah.
We're far opposite ends of the spectrum on this.
Okay.
I think it might be Warriors in 4 or 5.
No way.
Yes.
No, that's definitely not going to happen.
Yes.
I don't. That's going to happen.
Yes. All right. Now that I got your projection, now I need the breakdown.
All right. So here's first of all, this has the potential to be the best finals that we've seen since Heat Spurs. It has the potential. If everything plays out and these teams give you their best for 7 games or 2 weeks, whatever, this could be the best finals we've seen since Heat Spurs 2014, and actually 13, 14, that range. So Boston has the ability at their best to do things that the Warriors have never seen before. Defensively, they're able to do things to the Warriors never seen before. The Warriors' track getting here has not really prepared them for what they're going to see these next 2 weeks. They played the Nuggets, who don't play defense. Memphis is physical and tough, and you saw what they could kind of do, what a team could kind of do to the Warriors with the right personnel. Too young, too inexperienced. The Mavericks did not prepare them at all for this final because the Mavericks don't play defense. The Mavericks play. They're a better defensive team this year, obviously, than they were in years past, but not to the level to defend the Warriors. Boston is built for that, to defend them the way you have to defend them to be competitive. Now, going back to the Eastern Conference Finals, for me, the key to that series was how healthy is Robert Williams III? How healthy is he? I thought he was the major key to that series. He missed a couple games, and I think it helped the Heat kind of linger and stay around a little bit. For me, this series is how healthy is Marcus Smart? How healthy is Marcus Smart? Because he is the guy, to me, that spearheads this whole thing against the Warrior, because he's the guy who's going to be chasing around primarily Steph Curry. And that is a taxing job in itself. Now, what Boston can do that 99.9% NBA teams cannot do is literally they're going to be able to switch everything. And you have a guy in Rob Williams III that if I'm the Celtics, I put on Draymond to try to blow up that pick action and that ball movement that Draymond creates. Draymond is the quarterback of this whole thing. Rob Williams III, I think, is a guy you put on him. And then also what you're going to have is, so Marcus Smart gets caught up in a pick. Oh, hi, there's Jason Tatum. Marcus Smart gets caught up in a pick. Oh, hi, that's Jaylen Brown. Oh, hi, that's Al Horford. Oh, Rob Williams can stay there for a second too. All of these things defensively, I think, are things the Warriors, you go throughout their entire run, they don't have, I've never seen a team that's going to be able to defend them the way the Celtics are capable of defending them. Again, what I worry about with Boston is I worry about that last 5 minutes. They almost did it again in Game 7 in Miami. They were beating the brakes off of them. The last 5 minutes, their decision-making led to that game being close. Taking bad shots. Marcus Smart decided he was Allen Iverson, jacking up random threes, not taking great shots, not great possessions, having trouble getting the ball to your actual scorers in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. All of that stuff is the stuff that concerns me about them. But I'm excited about this matchup because you got the two best defensive teams in the NBA, and styles make fights. They'll say all the time, styles make fights. And watching Boston try to defend the Warriors is enough for me to be excited about the series. I want to see if they can actually be the team to solve this offense. And I think they can do it. And on the other side, they're going to make Golden State defend them in a way they haven't had to all series. Like, so you go back to the Maverick series, it was Luka and closeout and shooters. Memphis, it was closeout and shooters. Denver, it was stop Jokic's penetration, closeout and shooters. Not here, not now. Now you got to worry about Jason Tatum making you look foolish. You got to worry about Jaylen Brown making you look foolish. And oh, by the way, you still got closeout and shooters too, because you got Williams, you got Pritchard, you got White. Smart can hit a three. Horford can hit a three. So this is going to be, to me, some exciting stuff. I'm very excited about the series. Like I said, I'm gonna ride with Boston in 7 because I've been riding with them, so I can't jump off now. A little nervous about the end of game stuff, but it should be a fun series.
Now, it's hard for me to stand here, or I should say sit here, and dispute basketball X's and O's with someone who is literally a coach in basketball. However, I think everything you said doesn't matter, because the greatest shooters ever are going to come out and they're going to make it rain. And they are going to shoot Boston out of this series in a way that we may not have ever seen before. Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year, he sucks on offense. Marcus Smart is not a good offensive player. Defensive Player of the Year, can't take anything away from him for that. 1 for 9 from 3 last game, I believe it was. Marcus Smart sucks on offense. He's a an above average distributor, but his offensive game, I'm not afraid of. Tatum's Tatum. I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad about him. I wish he was a Sixer. Everything that you said about him, spot on. Jaylen Brown, let's see if him and Tatum can do it consistently game after game after game, because so far you've gotten, well, we've got the Tatum game. Oh, we've got the Brown game, but we're waiting for the Brown and Tatum game. When all you can have a Steph and Clay half that ruins a game for you. They don't even need a whole game. They can have a half that ruins it for you. And can Brown and Tatum both respond to that? I don't know. We'll see. Draymond Green, arguably the best defensive player ever. I don't think that, but there's people out there that'll put him in the conversation with that. A little undersized. I know you said Robert Williams. He's the number 44, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a bigger center. So he should be able to physically, obviously to a lesser degree, but you see how Embiid really can beat up Draymond Green because he's just so much bigger than him. Same thing, kind of what he did to Bam. Bam's a smaller center, but not as skilled as Draymond. But they're very same. They have the same physical build. I think that Robert Williams can get in there and beat Draymond up and be bigger than him. But Draymond, man, that dude's a Swiss Army knife. Like, he makes everything go. You called him the quarterback. That's great comparison. Is he going to be pulling up from half court like the other guys are? No. But he's the cog that turns everything. So I say all of that to say I just think that Clay and Steph are going to come out, and it's just going to be too much. Like, there's just going to be too much three balls. Not that Boston can't shoot the three ball, but we got the two of the top 3 to 5 three ball shooters of all time ready to go. And we cannot underestimate a great player's desire for greatness. This is their 4th ring they're chasing. I don't know about you. I'm not saying I would, but the conversation opens. If they get the 4th, LeBron or Steph. Now, I'm not ready to say that yet, but with a 4th, that conversation has to be brought up. There's very few players that have 3 rings. There's even less that has 4.
Mm-hmm.
And if they win this year, why should they not come back next season as favorites?
I think their path to the NBA Finals was a lot less. Their road was not nearly as tested as Boston.
But all that extra time can compound and accumulate and become a war of attrition.
Yeah, I mean,
Golden State was sitting at home for what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah, but that doesn't always. But the thing about that is that sometimes can hurt you.
For a team,
and honestly,
Warriors.
I love Luka as much as I love watching him play. That wasn't even a sweat against that team. Well, that matchup did not prepare you for what you're going to see Thursday night. It didn't at all.
The thing is that first off, I don't want a player like Luka having time off, because Luka, kind of like Embiid, can get a little chubby, can get out of shape very quickly. I don't want a player like Luka taking time off, between series. Just like I don't want Embiid taking time off between series. I want him to keep playing so he stays in the groove. A team that's older, like Golden State, what's Steph, 34? Draymond's got to be in his early 30s. And Clay, I mean, it's been well documented my feelings about Clay. Yeah. But why would I not want to give him more rest? For if the roles were reversed and it was Golden State playing 7 games and Boston sitting at home for 2 weeks, because of the younger team, I would totally be on board and agree with you. But because the roles are reversed, these guys have been there before, multiple championships. All of them are first ballot Hall of Famers. That's why I think the rest in this case is because it's not like they're in the gym staying loose shooting. That's not the issue. This team is.
Yeah, but that doesn't. But the thing is, staying in the gym shooting doesn't prepare you for what they're about to face. They're about to be in a fist fight. They haven't been in a fist fight at all this playoff. Maybe you can make an argument, maybe Memphis, but that was a month ago. They're about to be in a physical altercation. Mavericks don't play that way. The Mavericks don't play. The Mavericks are a finesse basketball team. The Nuggets are a finesse basketball team. Memphis is a little physical, but again, they're too young. They are about to be tested physically like they have not been in a very, very long time. If they can mess around Thursday night and get smacked upside the head real quick.
You saw the screenshot Tatum put out about texting Kobe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you see the Photoshop of it?
Yeah.
Warriors in 5?
Yeah. Yeah. I did.
I'm telling you, this is to steal a line from Mike Ehrmantraut. However you think that this is going to go,
well,
not how it's going to go down.
I mean, I'm fascinated by you. Like, listen, you picking the Warriors is not something that, like, that's fine. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to pick the Warriors in series. You picking them to be over in 5, I think, is a little aggressive.
And I'll be honest with you, I had to convince myself not to say 4.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to see Thursday. I am very excited for this series. I think it's going to be awesome basketball. Like I said, I think it's going to be basketball at the finals level. I want to see. I want to see how Boston defends this team.
Let me ask you, because like you said, since we've last convened, I never got a chance to ask you, what was your take on the Embiid tweets?
Oh, okay. He knew what he was doing. First of all, he knew what he was doing. I obviously, I don't believe for a second he wants to leave Philadelphia. I don't believe for a second that he wants to go to Miami and play. I don't believe that for a second. Embiid he went back to. We haven't seen that Embiid in a while.
He went back to Troel.
I thought that guy wasn't here anymore, but he reared his head. You know, it's not about nothing to me. Like, that's just Joel Embiid, who he is. Like, he likes to stir it up every once in a while, and you know, he's not wrong. Also, Miami does need another star because you know what happens is in his situations. Well, Kyle Lowry is not. I don't know if
Kyle Lowry needs to retire.
I don't know if he needs to retire, but thank God we didn't trade Max.
We thought James Harden was cooked. That man is cooked.
I mean, listen, I think Kyle Lowry can get away with being a nice veteran present point guard in your team, but he's not a star. He's not going to get you the 20 or 25 that you want from a guy. But I think he can still play for the next couple of years, but not in the role that they need him to be. Bam Adebayo, to me, is the biggest problem because he's the guy that's supposed to be your second star, and he's just not. He's not consistent enough. Like, you sometimes get good Bam, you get good Bam, you get bad Bam. And you don't know what you're gonna do. You can't have that with your star. So like Joel Embiid's not wrong. They do need a second guy. Tyler Hero can't be that because Tyler Hero doesn't play defense. And you need your guys to be more two-way. And that's something. Listen, that's something Luka's gonna have to work on in the offseason. And he's gonna have to commit to playing some defense. As offensively prolific as he is, he gives you nothing defensively, and that killed them against Golden State. Because you know. You can't have your big stars in those big moments not playing defense. You just can't. You don't have to be the best at it, but the effort needs to be there, and it wasn't, and that hurt them big time. So, Joel wasn't wrong what he said. It's just he knew the firestorm was going to cause, and what people are going to say. I personally don't believe for a second he wants to leave Philly. I feel like I know how much he loves the city and how much he wants to be a Sixer. I wasn't threatened by it at all or like worried, like, oh my gosh.
I just like, why? My question is just why?
Yeah, because he's Terrell.
But why do you have to be Terrell? Like, can't we just move past this?
No, listen, I hear you. I mean,
I know. I'm posing that question to you, like I expect you to go to his house and knock on his door and be like, hey.
Yeah.
Can't we just can we get past this?
No, this is kind of who he is.
This is the things that I'm supposed to be doing at 1:00 in the morning while I'm sitting here hitting the pen. These are the things that I'm supposed to be doing, not my $200 million franchise player.
I'm with you. Like I hear you, but this is just this is who he is. This is who he is. This is what he does. This is how he rolls. It's just really that simple.
So.
All right.
So real quick before we pivot, while we get ready to line up on the next topic, Let me just give you the facts of the day real quick, run through them, and we'll line up the second half.
Okay.
So let's go with the birthdays today first. So first off, shout out to friend of the show, Devin Caney, her birthday today.
Yes.
I will not reveal her age on this show.
Yeah.
But happy birthday to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I in the show prep today, I found some celebrities she shares a birthday with.
Okay.
They are much better than the celebrities I share a birthday with. Much better. Heidi Klum.
Ooh, solid. Solid birthday. Heidi Klum. Heidi Klum is an all-time GOAT.
Amy Schumer. Yeah, I can't.
You can't go Heidi Klum to Amy Schumer. You gotta put a buffer between those two.
Listen, I'm saving a great one for last. Okay.
Okay.
Swaggy P.
By the way, do you find her funny at all?
Not at all. I don't find her.
Neither do I. I don't understand her appeal.
None whatsoever.
I don't get it. I don't find her humor. I don't find her like I've never even chuckled at Amy Schumer.
No, I don't find her hilarious at all. Nothing.
Straight face.
Yes. Like I said, Swaggy P, Marilyn Monroe.
Classic. I actually finished her documentary about 2 weeks ago on Netflix.
And then, like I said, I have a real big one for last. Morgan Freeman.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yes.
Solid.
Yes.
I'll listen there.
We also have 2 events in sports. 1975, Nolan Ryan throws his record 4th no-hitter. 1975. Okay. And in 1994, Marcus, NBA history. Do you know what happened on this day in 1994?
What's it? It's June 1st, 1994. No. Some NBA some with the NBA finals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was
not the finals. It should be Eastern Conference Finals, I believe. Reggie Miller.
The day of Miller Day?
New York City.
Going off?
Madison Square Garden. That is today.
Wow.
1994.
Wow. That was a moment. The choke?
Yep. That was this day in 1994. So what would that be? 28 years ago.
Wow.
Yep.
That Reggie, some big moments.
Reggie Spike Lee.
Yeah.
So, and that pretty much sums up the day in history.
Love it. This is a good day. Good day in history. So we were supposed to do this before the break, but Ozarks. I officially wrapped Ozarks.
Finally. Oh, real quick. So we gotta just put this out there. Now that Marcus is all caught up on everything, we're about to do some Ozark and probably some Better Call Saul talk if we have time.
Mm-hmm.
Will contain spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, make sure to tune out now.
Yes. Ozarks is done, wrapped up. I feel like, let me go back to my notes because I want to remember exactly how I phrased this.
I'm sorry for your loss.
You know what though? But I'm okay with the Ruth. First of all, they did it at the perfect time. You waited for like the last 5 minutes of the show, which was smart because you knew it was going to be a big deal. And I also look at this as a makeup call for the way Breaking Bad handled Jesse Pinkman. The Ruth character and the Jesse Pinkman character are very similar characters. Obviously, for me, I like Ruth way more than I like Jesse.
I know you hate Jesse.
But they're very similar in their trajectory. Walter and Morty were always trying to save those characters. They were always trying to keep them out of trouble, keep them protected, make sure they were good. And so if this is Breaking Bad, Walt goes and tries to stop Jesse from getting killed. He goes and tries to stop Ruth from getting killed. Morty handled it the way he said, listen, Marty. He basically said, listen, man, I've done all I can do for this girl. We can't do anything else. It was cool seeing Wendy kind of flip and feel bad because, you know, they had their moment of clarity. And Marty, again, he went to her before this happened and said, yo, maybe you take this money and get out of town. Maybe that'd be the best thing to do. She didn't want to listen again. He tried to save her again. She couldn't be saved. And ultimately, characters like that need to pay a price. And that's why the Jesse Pinkman thing always bothered me, is he never paid the price for being a person that didn't listen and didn't follow directions. Ruth is the same way. She didn't follow directions, didn't listen, always went rogue, always doing Ruth things. And you do that, you at some point have to pay the piper. So I was okay with her being taken out. I was fine with that. I had no problem with that. Because I looked at it and I was like, okay, you didn't listen again. And here we are.
How crazy is Wendy's dad?
Yeah, nut job. No, absolutely, yeah, nut job. Yeah, no question. The ending I thought the ending was perfect. I love the way they ended it.
Well, I like how I forget what his name is, but he's like, I couldn't sleep. I got all you guys figured out now.
Yeah,
the bad guy can't win, and
yeah.
Wendy's just like, why can't the bad guy win?
Right.
And I just like, that's a valid point. Like,
right.
Why can't, like, it's like when you watch the movie and you root for the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why can't the bad guy win?
And they also did a good job, I feel like, in that last episode of softening Wendy's character and giving some compassion. I think the dad helped giving her a little compassion. And then, because I didn't hate her nearly as much at the end as I did all throughout the last couple seasons. She definitely earned some sympathy. And yeah, at the end, you're like, oh man, they're so close. No, come on. So Jonah taking the shot and actually them all getting it back together and figuring it out, I thought was a nice move.
Now, we have to go, and we may have to redo our list of cartel drug lords.
Okay.
Because she's terrifying.
Yeah, Camille?
Yeah.
Camille. We'll see. And again, if you watch Queen of the South, you knew her as Camila Vargas. They basically kept saying, yeah, because she's so, when she said to that financial broker how she was going to take care of the problem, she lied to her again. Chills. Absolute chills.
Like, people like that, you just, like,
don't mess with. Yeah.
No.
She was a great pick to bring in to be the person to take over and survive and all of that stuff. She was an excellent pick.
I also didn't expect Navarro to get smoked like that. Like, I figured I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know it was going to happen like that.
Right. I really enjoyed this season. I have zero complaints about really anything. Like, this is they did as good a job as you can do wrapping a series. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't ask for
4 strong seasons.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Right.
We'll dive into Saul real quick. I only had 3 episodes of Game of Thrones left.
Nice.
Entire series. Only 3 episodes left. Yeah, the Night King just got killed. So
that is sounds bad.
He's a real a-hole, just know that.
Okay.
Like, at the end of season 7, because there's 8 seasons. So I'm in season 8. The end of season 7, like, I was really into seasons like 1 through 5. Devin tried to tell me how great season 6 was. It just was so slow for me that's really drug me down getting finished it. But the end of season 7, I became extremely pissed off at this Night King guy, and he died in the last episode. Thank God they killed him. But there's only 3 episodes left, so. But the issue is that I think we've talked about this before. Have you watched Boardwalk Empire?
Not a ton, no.
So you've never seen the whole series?
No, I haven't.
Well, the issue I have the same issue with Game of Thrones as I do with them. Is that it was great through the first 4 seasons. The last season of Game of Thrones, every episode is like an hour and 40 minutes. So every single episode is like watching a movie.
Yeah.
And that's how it was with Boardwalk Empire. Like, the last season, every episode was like an hour 30, hour 40, hour 45. I lose interest in that.
You're out. Yeah.
So, like, I'm just really trying to just power through the last 3 episodes. But so, obviously, me and Devin will go nuts on that once I finish it. But I'm not I'm not bringing her back on the topic until I
Really
finish 3 more episodes.
finished up.
So, but we finished. We our one of our other shows, part 1 finished. July 11th it returns. I thought there were 7 episodes when they come back. Apparently, there's only 6.
Okay.
I
had a funny feeling. We talked about before something bad was gonna happen to Howard.
Yeah.
Like
have
I thought the cartel was.
Have you all seen all the outpouring over social media about Howard?
What? No.
Oh, type in Howard Hamlin on Twitter. Oh, people are there's a lot of outpouring about it.
Okay.
I just can't believe they smoked him like that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I had a theory that the cartel was gonna have something to do with his death. I thought it was gonna be maybe as a favor to Jimmy. Like Howard was gonna do something crazy and Jimmy's gonna be like, fine, I want this guy gone. The way it happened, I didn't see that coming until it like when obviously when Salamanca shows up, I was like, oh no, Howard. You need to run.
I mean, Jimmy doesn't get killed because obviously we
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like part of the brilliance about this show is that like because of Breaking Bad, certain people are okay.
Yeah.
They do a great job of being like, is he gonna make it? But like he makes it because you've seen Breaking Bad.
Right. Yeah. I mean, listen. Go back to Kim Wexler character and where's she going?
I have a theory on
her.
I have a theory on her, but go ahead.
What's your theory?
So, go back to the opening scene when they're cleaning out his house. Okay.
Yeah.
They take a painting off the wall and they're carrying it out. And along the bottom of it, there's some spatter, some substance. That same picture is the picture that's above their sofa that gets spatter on it when he shoots Howard. So the same picture that's obviously in his house when he is Gene is there when they take it, is there in Kim's apartment. So therefore, in Saul's mansion, Kim has to have been there at some point in time. Hence, her belongings are there. I think that in sometime in the next 6 episodes, she's going to make a call to the vacuum man.
Like before things get crazy with Jimmy, she makes a call to the vacuum man.
No, I think Jimmy says, I'm calling you the vacuum man.
Wow.
And sends her into hiding. That's my theory. Is that
we're at the point now, so 6 episodes left. Breaking Bad things have to be happening right now.
Right now.
Like they have to like time, obviously Saul hasn't met them yet, but they have to be happening right now.
Yes.
And like we've got to see Saul, like it's so much that they have to do in his next episode. We have to see Saul get to like his apex where he's making money hand over fist. He's in with the cartel. So obviously he has to have something to do with the death of Salamanca.
Of Lalo?
Of Lalo, yeah.
I don't think Lalo dies. And that because
he has to die.
I don't think so. Go back to the Breaking Bad episode where he goes, "Oh no, Ignacio did it. Did Lalo send you?" How could he have thought Lalo sent those people if they were dead? If he was dead?
So you think Lalo goes into hiding again?
I haven't formulated that theory entirely yet.
Okay.
I don't know if I would say as much hiding as I'm going to Mexico.
They kind of. Do you think him and Gus come to an understanding?
I don't know if it's.
Have you worked out?
Yeah, I mean, if you go back, I believe it's. Remember when in Breaking Bad, Bolsa and all of them get killed, and it's because Gus set them up.
Yeah.
I think that the reason that because obviously Bolsa has always gone to bat for Gus. But in Breaking Bad, you don't really know why Gus turns on him. Like you just know that he wants to be his own guy, but you don't really know why.
Yeah,
and I think that maybe Bolsa is like, hey, listen, you go to Mexico, you stay in the U.S. Who's the main guy? Don Eladio.
Don, yeah.
He does his thing where he's like, you two stay apart. But deep down, Gus still is bitter about it. And that's why he flips in Breaking Bad. Like a lot of my theory is that I'm trying to color between the lines of Saul and Breaking Bad. I think that he sends Kim into hiding with the vacuum man. I think that Lalo isn't dead because why would Saul think why would Saul think Jesse and Walt were sent by Lalo if Lalo's dead? Because now, obviously, Jimmy knows he thought Lalo was dead, and now he knows he's alive. So I don't think he would
That
go.
already happened.
Yes.
Right now, Saul knows Walt and Jesse.
No. If you go back to the scene in Breaking Bad, when they pull him out of the RV in the desert and put him in front of the grave.
Oh, right.
He goes, no.
Right.
Ignacio that did that. Did Lalo send you?
Yeah.
And Jesse's like, who the F is Lalo?
Yeah.
And he turns around and goes, you weren't sent by the cartel? And he's like, no. He goes, oh, thank God. Well, by that point in time, this is already, so he would have to know whether Lalo was dead or alive.
I got you.
So that's why I think that he's still
alive.
He's still alive. Like, or that he doesn't get killed.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. I mean, it's so much. They got so much to do. A lot to do in 6 episodes.
And another thing is, remember the golden toilet?
Mm-hmm.
What is very, very, very specific about that golden toilet, if you remember?
It's gold.
No. Like the setup of it.
The how elevated it is?
No. If Jimmy lived by himself, why was the toilet seat down?
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
I got questions. I got some questions.
We talk about in Breaking Bad. He refers to her as his wife.
Yes.
We've heard that. So, like I'm really excited. July 11th, that'll kick off. That's going to be good stuff. All right, so let's get the Phillies in here before we get out of here.
Can I go off real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, we need to blow the whole thing up. The whole thing. Marcus, we need a fire sale. Okay? Joe Girardi has to go, but at this point in time, I don't even think that's going to solve the problems. Like, he has to go, but it still won't fix it because the team is built fundamentally flawed from the ground up. Marcus, they don't have a leadoff hitter, okay? They don't have a guy that can get on base 330 to 360. That's what you need. You don't have fielders. You have a bunch of one-tool players. They all can't be DHs. Hoskins and Bohm and Schwarber and Castellanos and whoever the hell you put in center field has got to be the worst defensive lineup in the history of baseball. It has got to be. And you can deal with that if Rhys Hoskins isn't batting 215. If he's batting 330, okay, you suck at playing the field, fine. You're batting 330 and you got a 380 on base percentage. I can take that. I can't take you batting 215. Kyle Schwarber, you know what Kyle Schwarber's batting, Marcus? I'll tell you what he's batting because you won't guess it. 162. Okay? 162. Do you know what he's batting with 2 strikes? 138. He leads the majors in taking third strikes. So, this guy who you have at the top of your leadoff hitter, he's going to work the count. He's going to get on base. In every 10 times he goes up there, he gets on base 1.3 times. Is that good? I don't have to tell you that's bad. You already know that. It is awful. They need to do a fire sale. JT cooked. 32-year-old catcher. This man is under contract through 2025 season, Marcus. 2025. Cooked. Gotta go. Best catcher in baseball? Far from. Obviously, the Harper injury is a big wrench in what they wanted to do. But you were still going to have to play Castellanos or Schwarber in left field, and you still were expecting Schwarber to relieve Rhys Hoskins for some days at first base. They all suck in the field. I am watching Little League errors night after night after night. And I can't even say that I'm watching them because I don't watch the game. I just see the highlights on Twitter. I haven't watched the Phillies game all season long, and I don't plan to because they're terrible. They have gone over the luxury tax for the first time in franchise history. The Orioles, their entire payroll, Marcus, $63 or $63 million. Might as well be $63 for Baltimore. $63 million. There are multiple games up over the Phillies.
Right. I'm throwing up the stop sign. Take a breath.
No,
I agree with everything you have said. Let me walk in here real quick.
there's a lot more.
So here's where I'm coming from. Going into this season, I understood that this team had deficiencies. I understood they had flaws. The pitching staff, I was like, okay, they're not great. The bullpen's not great, but let's go through the pitching staff real quick. So Wheeler, you survived Wheeler basically going through spring training in the first month of the season. Aaron Nola has pitched the best he's looked in maybe 2 years. Eflin's been pretty good. Suarez got off to a rough start, but figured it out. The back end of the bullpen in Knebel, Dominguez, Hand has actually been pretty good. Okay? So if that's okay, I'd be looking at...
Just repeat what you just said.
Say again?
I need you to repeat what you just said.
Which part?
About the Hand and all those other guys. The bullpen.
Knebel, Dominguez. Pretty good. Not bad. Been pretty good. Manageable. You've gotten through with those guys. Those guys, they all have ERAs in the 2s. Knebel, I mean, his availability has been questionable, but you've been fine with those guys. And because of that, it's like, okay, defensively, obviously, missing Harper out in right field is a big deal. It's a huge deal. Because now you got Castellanos out there.
Yeah.
You might as well have a lobster out there in right field.
Yeah.
That's basically what he is. He has no arm, can't throw anybody out. Mobility is not great. But again, you should, like you said, we balance that out by Castellanos hitting 310. He's not hitting 310. He's hitting 255. That's a problem. I don't need Rhys Hoskins to hit 330. I need him to hit 260, 265. I need him to have power. I need him to drive and runs. Those things aren't happening. JT Realmuto, I don't know what the F is going on there. And I've had questions I feel like people have been quiet and giving a lot of passes. The passes are out. We have no more passes to give for you, sir. Kyle Schwarber, I'm going to say it. Was that Washington Nationals run a fluke? Was that couple of months where he...
Well, no, because he was decent. He was decent in Boston too. So I wouldn't say it was a fluke.
But not as good as he was in Washington.
No, that's a fact.
That's what. But that's the guy. That's the guy we thought we were getting. If we were to be honest with ourselves, we didn't look at the Boston run. We looked at the Washington run. Is that who we were bringing in here for this team? I never ever liked the idea of him being a leadoff hitter ever. I don't like this new age of baseball of putting a power hitter as your leadoff guy. It doesn't make sense to me. But they don't have a leadoff hitter, as you stated. Like, who are you putting up there? Herrera? I don't think Bohm's leadoff hitter either. I think Bohm, even though...
So Segura is the guy I'm putting up there, and he's not a leadoff hitter. But
he's not a leadoff hitter. So Segura is probably a 2 at best.
That's what I think. I think he's a 2.
Yeah.
But when you don't have a 1, your 2 needs to become your 1.
Right. Yeah.
Like, the problem is that... Well, no, there's a lot of problems. I shouldn't just say the problem. There's a lot of problems. But it is fundamentally built wrong, and the foundation is flawed. And that's like, you have too many of the same guy.
Right.
Schwarber is Castellanos, who is Rhys Hoskins, who is JT Realmuto, who is Bryce Harper. Like, they're all the same guy.
Yeah, and you've had in the past week, you've had 2 go-ahead home runs in the past week, and you couldn't figure out how to get out of that game with a win. Absolute momentum. Like when I was thinking about this the other day, when was the last time we saw this team play consistently good baseball for 2 to 3 weeks?
2009.
And like that really is the problem, right? Is that they cannot figure out
2011.
how
I'll give you that.
they cannot figure out how to play. Well, they didn't lose in 2011 in the regular season.
They just
I
kept
mean,
winning.
they played good baseball all year, but like that's the problem in itself is that they can't figure out how to be consistent for 2 to 3 weeks at a time, and that's what good baseball teams do. They figure out a way to play really good baseball for 3-week stretches, maybe a bad week, back to good baseball for 3 weeks, bad week, back to good baseball for 3 weeks. They can't do that. They can't.
Let me ask you this question now. Here we sit on June 1st, after Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
What's it, 11 and a half games out of the division?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can't win the division in your first 50 games, but you can lose it.
Yes.
Are you ready to change your opinion on what I said about the Bryce Harper surgery?
Well, here's the problem. Here's what you have is that one thing you can say that's in their favor is they've had a really tough schedule to start the season.
I have.
Which gets a lot easier going forward. If you're in the same position July 1st, I'm with you. They still have a chance to make the playoffs. And like if you can make the playoffs, you make the playoffs. So I'm not there yet because there is a chance for them to.
If they're double-digit games out July 1st, what are you doing?
If they're how many games out?
Double-digit.
Oh, he's getting the surgery. I think it's more about listen division. I'm not like I don't think they're going to come back and win the division, but it's more about where are they in the wild card standings? Are they competing there? They have a shot of getting that race. That's more where I'm concerned with now. I think you've lost season series to the Mets. The Mets have beaten you like 8 out of 11 times or something ridiculous. Like you don't have a shot of catching them because you not only have to, get ahead of them, they own like every tiebreaker on you right now anyway.
Oh man, there's 7 back in the wild card.
Yeah. So I like to see that be 4 by July 1st. 4 or 5. I like to see it be somewhere in there. But yeah, it's just you and I both are itching for Red October and then to get back into playoff contention. But this has just been the worst. This has been the worst way imaginable they could have started the season. And people want to, Joe Girardi, I'm not thrilled with him either. And, there's been things he's done questionable. However, does changing a manager really just change the fortunes of his team? I don't know that.
So it won't change anything, but at the same time, like he was brought in here to be a difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
What's different between now and Gabe Kapler's year?
Yeah.
Nothing.
And it's just like things like you go back to 2020, they need to go 2-6 down the stretch to make the playoffs. They went 1-7.
You want to hear some numbers that'll really, really drive this point home.
Okay, go for it.
They have to play 18 games over 500 for the remainder of the season just to win 80 games.
Wow.
This notion that we're still early, I just ran the numbers. We're 31% of the way through the season. If we were talking about an NFL season with the same percentage, you know what week we'd be going into right now? Week 7. Marcus, are you okay going into week 7 of the NFL season with everything the Eagles did the first 6 weeks, if this is what the Eagles were doing on the field?
1-6.
1-5.
1-5, yeah.
Going into week 7.
Yeah.
1-5. Are you okay with that?
No.
So this is the equivalent of the Eagles going 1-5.
And the thing is, too, like, I know people, I've said this before about people having trouble following a baseball season and not understanding that it's not like football where every game isn't like the end all be all. we're past that theory now.
Yes.
Like once you get past Memorial Day, you start to look at the standings.
This would
start to see how things are trending. It's not trending in a positive direction.
For the NBA, this would be a record that's 9-23.
Yeah.
Is that good?
No.
I know the answer is not good. I don't know what to say that hasn't already been said, other than like they need a fire sale. You need to trade every single thing that you can. If somebody wants to trade,
because I mean, are you trading number 3 too?
Yes.
If you don't do that, he's gonna want to get out of here.
No, I'm trading Castellanos. I'm trading Schwarber. I'm trading Harper. I'm trading Hoskins. The only thing I'm keeping is maybe Bohm. Wheeler, see ya. Nola, goodbye. Like, I'm replenishing my farm system. I am going through the process.
Yeah, you're asking, but the thing is, though, and this is the problem, is that this is why the rebuilding thing is tough, because they've been trying to do this since 2011, basically.
And they screwed it up.
Well, I'll say they're trying to hold on for 12 and 13. So maybe since 14 they've kind of been trying to do this. And
how's it going?
Years later, you still have not sniffed the playoff. You don't have any major young talent.
All right, so that was stat one. The first stat I gave you was the one about, how good they had to go.
Yeah.
Secondly, this is from James Seltzer from WIP. And he put this tweet out on Sunday. So obviously it's a couple more since then, because the Phillies all they do is lose. They would have to win as a franchise 1,184 straight games, which is every game between now and the 2029 season. For them as a franchise to get to a 500 record.
Yeah.
So this isn't a regime issue. This is a franchise issue. The Phillies have sucked for the better part of 125 years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, besides the run of...
Who do you... I keep hearing people go, oh, well, the Mets are going to Met. Who the hell are you to say that?
Right.
Like, what right as a Phillies fan do you have to say the Mets are going to Met? If I'm a Mets fan, I'm saying the Phillies are going to Philly.
Yeah, you had 77 to 84, you had 07 to 11, and that's basically it. You had about 10 years, about 125 and 93.
Like, who do you get to sit there? And then the Celtics are in the championship right now, and the Sixers are at home, looking like they are really in an abyss.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Rangers can beat Tampa Bay. The Flyers, they're so bad that I don't even know what they're like. They're so bad that they're calling them bad is an insult to bad teams. 75%. Now, thank God Howie decided to have a great offseason, because 75% of the teams in this city have shown you that it's not worth your time right now to invest in them. With the Phillies, I've said it at the beginning of the season. They don't care about you. You shouldn't care about them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this year, this offseason, they tried to put money, and it just...
They bought the same player.
Backfired.
We
didn't know that. We didn't know that going into it. And like, these guys are just... And here's the strange part to me, is that these guys are hitting better on the road than they are at home. How are you not mashing at Citizens Bank Park?
I don't know. It's the hitter. It's one of the most hitter-friendly
parks in the world. How are you not mashing there? It's just strange. Like, and listen, I'm not going to rewrite history. I was super excited about Castellanos and Schwarber, and the possibility of...
I'm more out on Schwarber than I am Castellanos.
Definitely. No, yeah. I 1000% agree. I'm I think Castellanos is in a rough spot right now, and it's just coming at the wrong time.
Yes.
Where I think that his numbers will balance out and he'll be okay. Schwarber, I am highly concerned with Kyle Schwarber.
And the one who gives me the most red flags is JT.
Yes.
Because I think he's cooked.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, I had reset.
Here's the thing. Like,
not cooked, but he's not. I'm concerned too about
he doesn't call great games.
Right.
He's slipping, getting the ball out on the bit. Like, there used to be, you used to not be able to run on him. Now it's a free for all. It's open season. Oh, we want second base. We're taking second base.
Yeah, I mean it's
and then you got, I mean, they haven't had a center fielder since Shane Victorino, really.
Yeah, no, that's facts.
I get Mickey Moniak's back. I'm taking my whole approach with him because I think he's a bust. Is I'll believe it when I say it. Let's wait and see.
Yeah.
I hope I'm proving wrong. Just like I hope Jalen Hurts proves me wrong. I hope Mickey Moniak proves me wrong. I don't think he will.
Right.
But then on top of all that, you have Binder Joe. You have Joey Binders in the dugout, who's too busy reading a spreadsheet. Can we just fire the whole team into the sun? Like, can we just have spring training 2023 and just start anew?
Yeah, I mean, when you may get your wish, it continues this way, because if they continue this way, you're going to have to make some serious changes if they keep going this direction.
I mean, like, who's in your minor league system? Name me someone, and I'm saying this kind of
Andrew Painter.
I don't even know who that is. So
Andrew Painter.
What position does he play?
The pitcher.
All right. Who's who you don't have
first? You have a first. I forget the guy's name, but there's a first baseman down there they're high on.
But the thing is, that's already blocked. Rhys Hoskins, and then if you get rid of Rhys, you got to put Alec Boehm there. Otherwise, you got to get rid of Boehm. Like, they have too many of the same guy. If I'm moving, Marcus, and I want to get a truck to put all my stuff in, I need a truck. I need space. If I show up with 5 convertibles, what the hell does that do? Nothing. Oh, but I got 5 cars. None of them have the space. They're all the same. You bought the same thing over and over and over and over again. And that is
it's really simple. Here's a simple way to put this. It's really easy. This was a team that were supposed to rise above their deficiencies because they were going to out-hit people.
And it hasn't happened.
They're not out-hitting anybody. They're not hitting at all. And that's the problem. What we saw out in LA for that brief blip, San Diego and LA, and really LA, how they were mashing, that's what you expected all season.
How you open
and you haven't gotten
Athletics. That. You expected that. Kyle Schumer opens the season with a home run.
Yep.
Nick Castellanos opens with and like I said, I think Castellanos will turn around. Like, that man is a professional hitter.
Yes.
Like, there's not very many guys. Like, there's baseball players, and then that guy is a professional hitter.
Yeah.
He will turn it around, I believe. And I actually really like, moving forward, the pairing of Castellanos and Harper. Reminds me a lot of Ryan Howard and Jason Worth.
Mm-hmm.
And even Castellanos, like, obviously Harper with the left side, Ryan Howard, but I think that Castellanos has more power than Worth did. Yeah. And that's not saying that Worth had power. He had 30 home runs in a year. He had power, but I think Castellanos has more power than that.
Yeah.
He actually, you know who he reminds me of? Pat the Bat.
And that's what I want Rhys Hoskins to be.
Exactly.
He's not. I want Rhys Hoskins to be Pat Burrow. I would kill to have Pat Burrow in this lineup right now. I don't care how many. Just get me 30. Hit 250 and hit 30 home runs.
30 and 100. Like, he could roll out of bed for a season and hit 30 and 100.
He had that one awful year where he hit like 218. That was an anomaly. He's like a 240-250 hitter, 30 bombs. Thanks.
30 and 100 every year. Lock it in.
On a great year, he'll hit you 280. 30. Fine.
Legend in Old City, by the way.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I was down there in the Pat Burrow days. I have stories.
Legend.
I've seen some things.
And
I've heard firsthand. I've seen pictures of the gift basket.
I was gonna say the Pat Burrell gift bag.
Yep. I know people that have received the gift bag.
Do you?
Oh yeah. Pat Burrow used to like. We didn't run in the same circle, but we saw each other. The head nod was there because he was always circling around the Shark Tank.
Now, who do you think was more legendary? Pat Burrell in Old City, or what was the Flyers' name?
Mike Richards and Jeff Carter in Avalon.
Yeah, down the shore.
I can testify to both of those things. So you're actually come to the right place because I've been at the Princeton when Richards and Carter made appearances. I mean, you can actually add Johnny Clark and Avalon on that list too. He did okay down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did okay down there. That's a tough one because you got 2 against 1. Well, Burrow was so prolific in Old City. I'm gonna go Burrow in Old City.
Well, let's just simplify. Let's just say Jeff Carter because he was. It was if you're choosing between Carter and Richards, it's Carter would be.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Burrow in Old City.
Or dark horse, Ricky Batalico at McFadden's.
Ricky Bowe at McFadden's.
Bowe at McFadden's.
He's definitely a strong third in that.
Yeah, no, he's the dark horse.
Yeah, he's a strong third in that. But no, yeah, Pat Burrow and Old City.
Or Beans at Sixers games.
Beanie at Sixers games?
Yeah.
Beanie in the underground tunnel?
That
I'm sure that did okay.
You know, Burrell is
Burrow and Old City though is number 1 by far. All right. Well, got nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, I think we actually well, for all of you out there, we'll address this on Friday. Winnie the Pooh is now an axe murderer.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that on Friday.
With
visual, so high tries if you're watching.
Yes, so that's that. And I have a top 5 on Friday for us.
Okay.
Have that, and everybody's now on our favorite debate. Have you seen this going around like on every major network now? Our favorite debate's happening.
What's that?
The Tiger King.
Oh yeah, Tiger King versus Herbert. Welcome to the party.
It's. I mean, like we haven't been discussing this for the better part of the last 2 years, but
right.
Every major network is having that debate now.
Right. Yeah, of course they are. Late to the party as usual, but what else is new?
Nothing else. Nothing else is new for that. They're always late to the party.
At Marques Between Everywhere.
At Justin Emmer Show on social media.
Brad Pod everywhere. BradmanShow.com for the merch. 10% off. Just kidding. Vance Jewelers. Go see our friends at Vance Jewelers. 332 York Road. Maybe they'll give you 10% off something. Probably not.
Don't go in there.
Don't go after that.
No.
I don't want any phone calls.
That's what we call a Freudian slip.
Yes. Until next time, you'll be with us, you'll be against us. We're never going to stop us. Late.